Good morning and welcome to the garden. So I am actually going to plant out a few flowers today. I got a little bit of a garden center flower haul yesterday, and so I thought I would just show you what I'm planting, get these guys planted out. I gotta put the hanging baskets back up. Last night we had a bunch of wind. We actually had, I think, like gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So I was very relieved to see that the unheated greenhouse is still standing this morning. It looks good. And now I'm gonna just put those hanging baskets back up. I took them down just because I thought, you know, to be safe, it would be good to have them not swinging around in the wind, because we were getting some pretty big gusts. So I'm gonna get that set, but otherwise I think the garden survived the winds just fine. And now I've got a bunch of fun plants. So I picked up a couple petunias and some nemesia, which I think will be really nice. Petunias tend to be a bit more cold hardy, so we are definitely past our last frost, but we still have nights in the low 40s, but that's not gonna hurt the petunias. And then nemesia is also a fairly cold hardy plant, so that won't mind these slightly chillier temperatures as well. So I'm loving kind of the more antique tones. So I found this really pretty. It's called Tropical, and it's kind of like a purple, not purple, a rusty, reddy, orange, apricot-y tones, orange. So it's not super, it says tropical, but I feel like it fits into my kind of rusty colors. And so I think a few of these will be cute to pop just in a couple little pots to have some added color. And then I grabbed some black petunias. These are the Black Magic Mounded Petunias, which I love this look of black petunias. I started some from seed, but honestly, the ones that I started from seed are not doing well. They just never took off. It's interesting because I've had good luck growing petunias in the past from seed, and I don't know, I've had some struggles this year with some of my seeds starting. Some of my seeds are just not really thriving, so I think a little bit of a lack of attention on my part, but I figured I'd just pick up a few of these. When the seed starting isn't going well, I just, you know, I don't worry about it, and I just go ahead and grab some started plants. And then I also found this really beautiful petunia. This is called, no, it doesn't say what it is. It's just a headliner petunia. This isn't like a super petunia or anything like that, but it's just, I thought that was really kind of beautiful. It had that tan yellow and the purple. So I'm gonna pop these in a few containers and start. This is like the first starting of real summer annuals. So really cool. Let me show you where I'm gonna be planting them. Of course, I planted some lettuce in some of these containers, and now I want to put petunias in it. This happens to me every spring. No matter how conscientious I try to be about not planting into the containers, spring crops into containers that I want to put annuals in, it's always a struggle. I always think, oh, I just want to fill them up, you know, right around like end of February, I want to fill the containers up, and then come early April, I'm ready to start planting annuals, and I've got spring things in the containers. So I think it's not going to be, I think I've come up with a plan. It's not gonna be too bad, but I'll show you where they're all going. Okay, so this container has a couple little lettuce leaves. I'm just gonna move them probably to the edge of the container and plant one of these petunias here. This will be a nice full sun spot. Then I'm gonna take one of each of these, and I think I'm gonna put them together in this pot. I have ranunculus growing in it, and I'm just gonna move the ranunculus into a different container and put the two petunias in here. And I think that should be a good size for them. And the ranunculus, we'll let the ranunculus grow. If it does anything, great, but I'm not gonna like, you know, just wait on the ranunculus. I'm not gonna worry about if it doesn't take off, then it won't be taking up kind of like a prime spot. So I'm gonna put those there. And then I have two more of the black petunias. So I had an extra container. I'm gonna put one black petunia there, and then I moved the lettuce container. It's the exact same size. I moved it over there. And this is gonna be a little bit of a shade spot too. So that'll actually be perfect. And then I think I have this one more black petunia, and I wanna find a good sunny spot for it. I kind of like the idea of this container, so we may just move this lettuce out, even though this lettuce is looking so good. Oh, these are hard decisions. See, this is what happens to me every time. You know, I decided what I'm gonna do for now is actually stick this black petunia in this pot, and then I will probably end up moving it as the season goes on, but that won't be a problem. I can always move it. I don't have to be stuck with it here, but it'll add to that pot for right now. And then I'm gonna actually end up pulling out, these are the daffodils that never really got started. I'm just gonna plant them into the ground, and if they get growing, amazing, but if not, I'm not gonna worry about it. And I am going to put some of my, the nemesias in these pots. All right, we have petunias in the garden again. I am so excited. I think this is gonna be really nice, and it's just so fun to see like some real flowers coming in here with the nemesia. All of a sudden feels so much more full. These are really pretty. I really love these. That was a total impulse buy. I wasn't planning on getting this kind of petunia. I was thinking of getting maybe like some of the like honey colored. I think it's like Super Bell's honey or something like that, which I might still get a few more petunias because I do really like petunias, but these are really beautiful, and so I had to kind of pick them up while I could. And then the nemesia in there looks fun. It's just starting to look full, which is just really beautiful. So I'm happy about that. Hey there. So it's actually a little bit later now in the afternoon, and I'm popping back out here. I've got to close the greenhouse to kind of get the garden tucked in for bed, but I realized I didn't finish this video out, so I just wanted to show you again what the garden is looking like. I absolutely love having these petunias in here. It's so nice to come back out here and see a little bit of that fresh, like summer kind of glow in the garden. Petunias just, I don't know, they scream summer. So I'm gonna start them on a pretty regular fertilizing schedule. Now that they're in containers, once a week they will get a water soluble fertilizer. It's really key with these kind of annuals to start them on a fertilizer if you're gonna grow them in containers, and really keep them on that fertilizer as consistently as you possibly can. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to just remember, honestly. 1 week comes around pretty quickly, but that's what I aim for, at least 1 week, if not kind of like twice a week on a lower dose, just so I make sure I'm really getting as much fertilizer as I can for the blooming annuals like a petunia. And this is kind of my strategy now going forward for planting out the garden. I'm gonna try to kind of take it piece by piece, switching out things in the containers. So a lot of the lettuce containers, I'm just gonna let that lettuce keep growing, and then once it really fills out, I will pop it out and plant in whatever summer annuals are available at that time. So that might be later in maybe like end of May. I'm not quite sure when the lettuce is really gonna be done. Typically in the past, I have kind of like planted the whole garden for spring and then planted the whole garden again for summer. And so this is a little bit of a departure for me to be doing it in this kind of, I don't know, slow and steady strategy. I'm hoping that it'll be more manageable, and with keeping my containers in all of the same places, that's kind of going to help, I think, with this, where it's like this is the set plan for the containers, so then it's just changing plants out as need be, but less, I don't know, less fuss with moving containers around and that whole process. I don't know, at least that's sort of my hope. But here it is in the afternoon sun. I think the Nemesia is really kind of subtle, and the red against the terracotta is kind of subtle in there, but still really adds like a sweet little glow and kind of gives that like a fun moment when you're just sort of taking in the overall view, and then you can look in and see these sweet little flowers. And it looks really beautiful with the blue grape hyacinth. So I definitely want to I think I might do like some purple lantanas, some peppers in these pots, and maybe a little bit of coleus and some Petunias. That's kind of like the flowers that I'm envisioning in here as we go on. And then, as I said, yeah, I'm going to let this lettuce keep going and growing out. And then once that's done, I'm just going to go to the garden center and find what's pretty and see what it'll look like. This is the catmint, which is a similar, this is mango tango, I think, and no, not catmint, agastache, I'm not quite sure how you say it. It's a similar color to the Nemesia, and it will probably pick up midsummer. This is a perennial, so it's one of those like midsummer flowering perennials. It'll probably pick up midsummer with a very similar sort of look and color to this. It has spear like flowers with this kind of a similar mango-y, kind of red. And I do think, technically the Nemesia could keep going all summer. In the past, this has kind of faded out for me midsummer. So we'll see. If it fades out for me midsummer, I'll put something in here that's more, will carry on till fall. Because it has a pretty good cold tolerance, so I know it's a decent plant for spring. And I don't know if the other time I had it, it was just a fluke that plant happened to not make it all season. We'll see. Otherwise, this should just kind of keep blooming all summer. So I'm just going to try my best to take care of it. And then if it comes in and it's, it'll be just like a nice clump of this sort of orange and red. Either way, as long as I remember not to put any more of the orange in any of the other containers, that's what I'm going to have to remind myself when I go to the garden center. Like, we've got the orange for this section, and now we need to look for some other colors. And then I did pop the black petunia in this one, so I will fill in around it and just let that be kind of just something a little different in here. I don't really have a good plan for this pot yet. I'm thinking maybe like a sweet potato vine, maybe like a big statement coleus. I'm not quite sure. This will end up getting pretty part shade once the arch trellis, which is right here, once that fills up with the tomatoes. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, and just I put another Nemesia right here, super cute. This will have the lotus flowers in, which I need to do a video because I'm gonna start my lotus seeds soon. And I've got another one of the mango tangos over here. Looks like it's got water. Just like looks like maybe it got hit by some of that cold weather, a little bit droopy, but I think it'll be okay. And then I put the two other petunias in this pot. I think that'll be really cute as the season goes on. Hopefully, since they're in the front of this collection of pots, they'll kind of ramble forward and spill onto the sidewalk. I may have to move this little thyme container. Like, I may just have to kind of move it around or work the petunias over it because they will be such big plants. Now, I am going to try my best to stay on top of like pinching these back a little bit to keep them full and rounded. I aspire to really staying on top of keeping my petunias from getting straggly and leggy by pinching them. If I do that, and if I remember, I will definitely do a video and share that process. But you can really kind of size control them and help to keep a better shape on your petunias. Otherwise, especially planting them this early, by the end of the season, they'll be super just like leggy and spread out. So I'm gonna try my best. See if I can do it this year, really keep on top of them and keep them looking really nice, especially because I really love these. Sometimes you get a plant and you get into the garden, you're like, oh, I don't know. But these, I'm really excited about. I think they're really beautiful. So I'm really happy to have them. All right. It's just a gorgeous evening in the garden. So I'm just going to poke around here, close up the greenhouse. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.